What's up, Variant Nation? Last week, DC released their follow-up to the Batman White Knight series titled Batman Beyond the White Knight. And anytime DC drops something dope with the Cape Crusader, you know we're here for it. So today we're gonna give you a rundown of issue number 1, which is once again written by the man himself, Sean Murphy. Also, if any of you are still wondering who I am, that's a good indicator that you haven't subscribed to Variant the Podcast yet. I'm the executive producer of Variant overall and co-host of Variant the Podcast. So you can catch me there every week alongside Arris talking everything and anything in the world of geekdom. So if you're not a member of the podcast crew yet, it'd be great to have you come hang with us there as well. You can find links to both the podcast YouTube channel and the audio podcast platforms in the description of the video. Now, before we dive into Beyond the White Knight, we want to thank Scentbird for sponsoring today's episode. Call me crazy, but I've always tried to smell good. Mostly because I'm fond of my beautiful wife, and it's better than drawing in six-pack abs with a Sharpie. But it can be difficult to sort through all the different brand options to find out which cologne you like best, not to mention expensive. And that's the coolest part about Scentbird. It's a fragrance subscription service that allows you the opportunity to try high-end designer brands for a fraction of the cost. For only $16 a month, you can choose a new cologne or perfume to try from top brands like Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, and Prada, as well as indie labels like Vince Camuto and Confessions of a Rebel. And Scentbird works directly with the brands to ensure each fragrance is 100% authentic and you're not getting any knockoffs. Scentbird also makes it ridiculously easy to find something you'll like by asking you to take a small quiz and then adjusting along the way based on your preferences and previous purchases. With each selection, you get a 30-day supply like these 3 colognes Scentbird just sent me. This month I'm trying Paper Plus by Commodity, Touch by Burberry, and Stem by Malin & Getz. And each came with its own description card featuring details for the individual cologne. So far, I'm digging Touch by Burberry the most, but that Malin & Getz is a close second. Anyway, as you can see, the vials are way bigger than a typical sample bottle, 8 times bigger actually, which allows you to try out and discover different brands before dropping serious coin on a full bottle. It's also a flexible subscription so you can upgrade to receive 2 or 3 products a month or even skip a month without penalties. So instead of having a bunch of half-empty cologne or perfume bottles lying around your room, let Scentbird hook you up, get you smelling right, and save you money while doing it. And make sure to use our coupon code to get 55% off. That's just $7 for your first month. Link and coupon code is in the description. And now let's jump into some Batman Beyond the White Knight and see what's up with Terry McGinnis. The comic starts off with Terry McGinnis lowering himself into the Batcave and speaking to someone saying, "Wow, this place is slagged. Lots of gizmos lying around. Surprised there's anything left to steal. Sure you don't need any of the stuff?" The person he's talking to replies over comm saying, "I created most of the technology Batman ever used. There's very little in the cave I don't already know about." Terry responds, "Except for the special suit?" The voice answers, "Wayne designed it on his own, the most powerful Batman suit ever created, but it ended up being so dangerous that he never wore it. I need to know what it's capable of, Terry." As Terry looks around with his flashlight, he says, "I think I found it. Well, I'm not really sure." The voice then asks, "What do you mean?" He replies, "There's no cape." Meanwhile, above the Wayne Manor cave, we see police officers keeping guard saying, "Someone's down there." Another one replies, "That's impossible. How'd they get past the sensors? Call it into Commander Grayson." For those of you who aren't fully up to speed with the previous events within the White Knight universe, specifically the Batman Curse of the White Knight series itself, Bruce Wayne has been locked up for years and Wayne Manor and the Batcave are now under the watch of the police. So with that understood, we jump back to this story where we see the cops lower themselves down to the Batcave to see who's down there. Terry then says, "They know I'm here." The voice then tells him, "Put on the suit." He replies, "But you said it was dangerous." The mysterious voice says, "I'll try and help you by hacking into its CPU." So Terry puts on the suit and we see it's the Batman Beyond suit. One of the police officers begin to say, "Whoever's in there, you're trespassing in a restricted area." The other cop spots Terry saying, "What the heck is that?" As we then see Terry suited up in the Batman Beyond suit saying, "Okay, now what?" This immediately leads to an altercation between Terry and the police, with Terry saying, "Something happened to my hand," with the voice saying, "Impressive, retractable claws in the gloves." Terry also realizes the suit gives him enhanced strength and retractable wings that allow him to fly. So he takes off saying, "This thing can fly." The mysterious voice responds by saying, "Keep your arms extended using the wings to glide. The boots will propel you as needed." Terry yells, "You could have warned me. How do you know I'm not afraid of heights?" The voice on the other end just says, "Don't worry, Terry. With this suit, we won't need to be afraid of anything. Now come home." As we then look down at Terry's wrist communicator to see it's Derek Powers he's been talking to the whole time. Anyway, we are then taken to Stonegate Penitentiary where we see the Sons of Azrael have caused a riot and have captured Captain Jason Todd, who works at Stonegate. At this point, a much older Bruce Bruce Wayne, who is also an inmate there, tells a guard, "Give me your weapon." He does, and Bruce says, "Sons of Azrael, release that man," as he starts taking a bunch of them out. Jean Paul Valley owes me a debt for saving his life. I'm asking you to honor that debt by sparing this man, referring to Jason Todd. The leader of the Sons of Azrael says, "Azrael told me about the debt. He had great respect for you, Bruce. You might be an enemy, but like our father, you're also a great warrior, a man of honor." The Sons of Azrael agree to release the son of Batman. Todd then says, "I'm not his son." The leader continues to say, "Consider the debt paid." With that, Bruce takes Todd away from them as Todd sarcastically says, "After all these years, it looks like you finally got your wish. Some quality time together." Bruce then brings Todd inside of a cell and tells him, "I spent years in my cell reading, reflecting, and meditating, doing my best to figure out how it all went wrong. And I realized my mistake started with you, because you were the first." This is coupled with flashbacks of Bruce and Jason, who in this continuity was the first Robin. Anyway, Bruce narrates over the flashback saying, "But my mistake wasn't bringing you in. You needed a home, so I provided one. My mistake wasn't training you. You were an angry kid, so I showed you how to harness that rage. And I don't think allowing you to become Robin was a mistake either. I loved you like a brother. And that was my biggest mistake, because what you really needed was a father." The same goes for Dick, Barbara, and Tim. That's what you all wanted from me, and I never fully appreciated that. I wasn't capable of being what you needed me to be, and that's really why I lost you. It wasn't just the Joker. We then return to the prison cell where Bruce continues to tell Jason, "It's true, part of me hoped my time at Stonegate would give us a chance to sort things out, but I don't blame you for never coming to see me. If this is my only chance to speak to you, then I just want to say, I'm sorry." But after Bruce apologizes, the GTO comes crashing through Stonegate's walls with their leader, Dick Grayson, coming out of the tank saying, "Any prisoner caught resisting arrest will be punished, or worse." He then turns and says to his deputies, "Use whatever force you deem necessary." Now, if you're wondering what the GTO is, they're the Gotham Terrorist Oppression Unit, so things get pretty serious real fast. Anyway, as the GTO is getting the Sons of Azrael under control, Bruce points to the side of one of their tanks. It says Wayne Powers. He then asks Grayson, "Derek Powers? Dick, what is this thing? And why are you all dressed like that? Answer me. Why do you all look like Batman?" Dick then just puts on his helmet and ignores him. Duke, who is also working for the GTO, answers, "A lot has changed in Gotham, Bruce. You used to have eyes everywhere, even from in here. What made you stop paying attention?" Bruce then asks, "What's going on?" And while taking Bruce back to his cell, Duke explains, "I know you tried to do what was best by giving your fortune back to Gotham, and for a while it worked, especially in places like Blackport. But Powers moved against you after the trial. As CEO of Wayne Motors, he was able to stop you from dissolving his company. Then he got the city to give him millions from the Wayne charity funds to build new bat tech for a bigger, beefed up GTO. Bruce then asks, "What about everything else I tried to do? The outreach programs, the money for education, offsetting people's taxes?" Duke responds, "Most of that didn't happen." Bruce then cuts Duke off by saying, "You're telling me that Powers hijacked the Wayne fortune to make himself rich? That he stole my company and turned it into a weapons manufacturer? And that Gotham is now a police state being patrolled by an army of supercharged Batmen?" Duke then reluctantly replies by saying, "Sorry, but it gets worse. This was recorded 3 hours ago at the ruins of Wayne Manor. 2 security guards are already in the hospital. One's in critical condition." All while he's showing him footage on a tablet of someone stealing and wearing the Batman Beyond bat suit, which of course we know is Terry. This shocks Bruce and he says, "Oh my God. Someone's gonna get killed. This isn't a coincidence. Powers is behind all of this, and he needs to be stopped." And as Bruce is saying this, we get an epic full-page shot of Batman Beyond with Gotham City behind him. Next, we are taken into Harley Quinn's home where she's preparing dinner while talking to her son Bryce. And after chatting a little bit, her daughter Jackie comes home looking very reminiscent of her father, Jack Napier. Once again, for those of you who aren't fully aware of what's happening within the White Knight storylines, in this continuity, the Joker and Harley had 2 kids together. A son Bryce and a daughter Jackie. Bryce, as we see here, is the good one, and Jackie, let's just say, is more like her dad. Anyway, once Jackie gets home, she and Harley get into a fight and she sneaks out of the house. She's mad at her mom as she just found out from an online article that Harley killed her dad, the Joker. But we then quickly return back to Stonegate where we see Bruce do his Batman thing and escape his cell with an ATM card he swiped from Duke Thomas earlier. But as Bruce is about to make a break for it, Jason sees him and says, "You're only a few months away from a parole hearing. You've helped us quash a dozen riots and protected my men a lot over the years. With all that good behavior, there's a chance you'll get out soon. You sure you want to do this?" Bruce just responds, "Batman is still out there in more ways than one. If I don't fix this, then more lives will be ruined." Jason just replies, "Is that why you shut them all out? Refuse visits from Harley, Dick, Barbara, and all the others?" Bruce says, "They need to move on, and so do you." Jason then replies, "Listen, I thought about what you said before, and you didn't fail me, Bruce. I failed you by getting caught. Then I failed you again by giving you up, telling the Joker, I wish I'd never met Bruce Wayne. I was shocked when he let me go. Joker is a maniac, but he's also smart. and he knew that leaving me alive gave him all the power. It took me months to recover. I lived on the streets while my scars healed. After enough time passed, I finally found the courage to come and see you. All I wanted was for you to put your arms around me and tell me everything was going to be all right. But that all disappeared when I saw him, Dick Grayson. And as he's saying all this, we're once again shown flashbacks, this time of Jason returning to Wayne Manor, with Bruce now training Dick Grayson after he lost Jason. Jason Todd goes on to say, "I thought I was special, that Batman and Robin was our thing, and that I could never be replaced. So that's when I set out on my own, drifting in and out of different lives. A brawler, a bodyguard, a collector, a soldier, whatever paid the bills." This causes Bruce to grab Jason by the shoulder saying, "You're not replaceable, Jason. You are special, and you left a giant hole in my life. I guess I've been trying to fill it ever since. Everything is going to be all right." He then hugs Jason, finally giving him what he wanted all those years ago. After their bro bonding moment, Jason says, "I'm not mad at you, Bruce. I know you did the best you could. Without you, I'd have crossed your path sooner or later as a criminal. You probably kept me out of prison." Bruce just says, "Yeah, how's that working out?" Jason laughs and says, "I'm sorry too, Bruce, for not coming to see you." To which Bruce says, "Maybe we're more alike than you want to admit." To which Jason replies, "More than you'll ever know," as we see a panel of him perched atop a building's gargoyle as Red Hood next to a female Robin with a bow and arrow. In this moment, we also get a fun info caption that says, "See the upcoming book Batman White Knight Presents Red Hood #1. So that's definitely another title we're going to be covering. Anyway, Jason then says, "You don't need closure, Bruce. You need a new beginning with all of them." Bruce replies, "No, I can't have them involved." Jason says, "Gotham is a different city now. For you, an unrecognizable futurescape, and you're about to go after two of the most powerful people out there, Derek Powers and Batman. You're going to need help. A lot of it." Bruce partially changes the subject and replies, "Are you and I going to be okay, Jason?" Jason pauses and then tells Bruce, "I'll give you 10 minutes before I sound the alarm." And with that, Bruce escapes Stonegate, but once he makes his way out of the prison walls, he hears a voice telling him a joke about 5 poker cards. And when he ultimately finds the voice, he's shocked to find that it's a very much still alive Joker. And that cliffhanger, my friends, is where issue #1 comes to an end. The White Knight universe, or the Murphyverse if you want to call it that, is so freaking good. At this point, it could be argued that it's among the better takes on the Batman mythos ever written. We're big fans over here of how they're setting up Terry McGinnis and Batman Beyond within this universe, and having Jason Todd Red Hood as a central focus throughout every White Knight series has been amazing. I, for one, completely expect his White Knight spin-off series, which is coming later this year, to be crazy good as well. Anyway, in summary, I really dig this first issue. It features several great Batman characters with a great story, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. But what do you guys think? Let us know, as always, down in the comments. First up for the week of April 6th, we have Batman 122. Ra's al Ghul is dead and Talia is out for revenge. Batman is on the case to find Deathstroke before Talia's elite killers do, but Batman starts to piece together that not everything is what it seems when it comes to Raz's death, and he knows he's got to interrogate Talia herself to get answers. Now we have Devil's Reign issue 6. Wilson Fisk's hubris as mayor of New York has cast the city in the waiting arms of a cadre of dangerous and deadly supervillains. Worse still, Fisk's vendetta against the heroes who have stood against him for so long has left the city defenseless. Next up we have Suicide Squad issue 14. The war for Earth 3 may be over, but the battle at home is only heating up. As egos clash, bugs ambush, and a big parademon tries to eat his own teammates, an explosive confrontation between Peacemaker and Bloodsport will leave you breathless. Fourth on the list is Batman Beyond Neo Year 1. Neo Gotham is alive and has killed Bruce Wayne. It's rejected Terry McGinnis as Batman and offered him the chance to escape, but Terry turned it down because he's the city's protector and he will uphold the legacy of Batman. And finally, we have Moon Knight issue 10. An assassin infiltrates the Midnight Mission while another hidden enemy strikes at Moon Knight where he is most vulnerable. Attacked on two fronts, the Fist of Khonshu is put on his back foot, but that's where he's the most dangerous. And that does it for this episode, my friends, but remember to check out Variant the Podcast for more great content, and as always, we'll see you next time when we talk about all things comics.